Welcome, everybody. So happy to have you all here. This is our webinar, Findings and Recommendations for Establishing an Outdoor Recreation uh, uh, Statewide Outdoor Industry Organization. So very happy to have you all today with us. This is a culmination of a year-long planning process where we sought to understand the challenges facing the outdoor recreation industry in Pennsylvania, as well as opportunities for a statewide outdoor business alliance to really rally around those challenges and opportunities and unite and strengthen and grow the outdoor recreation industry. So before we dive in, I just wanted to share a couple of housekeeping notes. We are recording this webinar today, so for your information, and the recording will be posted on the Elevate website for later viewing if you have to jump off early or if you want to share with your colleagues. Another plug for our website, please visit the Elevate website. It's on the screen now. It's elevateoutdoorspa.com. One final note before we dive in, we would love to hear from you. We're going to be presenting out a lot of information, but if you have questions or comments or ideas during the webinar, please put them in the chat. We'll be monitoring that on the back end here as we go along. So with that, just wanted to kind of give a quick run of show for our hour here to get together today. Again, we're going to tell you about Elevate and the planning process. We're going to recap this year-long process where we gathered a lot of information directly from industry as well as its supporters. We're going to summarize what we heard in terms of those key challenges and opportunities, and we're going to outline what resulted from that work in terms of a set of recommendations for actions that an OBA, an Outdoor Business Alliance, could take within the state of Pennsylvania to better serve the industry. So this is our opportunity. We hope that many of you have been involved to date, but we wanted to bring everybody back together to hear about what we learned, what we heard, and what some next steps are. Before we adjourn, the most important part of today's presentation, we're going to hear some industry insights from three guest speakers. These are three very involved people and organizations within outdoor recreation in Pennsylvania. So we're going to hear from the three of those folks about what the what their views are in terms of the Elevate process, but also their perspective on the OBA and the future of the industry. So that's our run of show. So with that, I will turn it over to two of our key stakeholders within this planning process, starting first with Nathan Rigner from the Pennsylvania Office of Outdoor Recreation.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Appreciate the opportunity to be here with you all today and talk with you again about our effort to stand up an Outdoor Business Alliance here in Pennsylvania. So Nathan Rigner, Director of Outdoor Recreation for the Commonwealth. I direct our Office of Outdoor Recreation. Our Office of Outdoor Recreation was established to help grow our outdoor industry in the Commonwealth and help deliver outdoor recreation as a strategic tool for economic development. As we were being established, the growing outdoor recreation for Pennsylvania, and I should have a copy of the report to wave around here, the growing outdoor recreation for Pennsylvania conclusions report and roadmap identified priority 1A, our first job in the office, to help organize and add capacity to our outdoor industry in Pennsylvania. And this Elevate project and its resulting Outdoor Business Alliance really is the cornerstone of that effort. We've, in the Commonwealth and from the office's perspective, see the need for this Outdoor Business Alliance really growing out of three reasons. First and foremost, to help our outdoor recreation industry grow, be prosperous, create jobs, create entrepreneurial opportunities, and help more Pennsylvanians derive the benefits of outdoor recreation. So growing the industry is really the first need that we see. Second, our office within state government needs a private sector partner with whom we can collaborate to help develop public-private partnerships and help us within government understand and know the needs of our outdoor recreation industry to better address those. That's the second reason why it is such a high priority for us to support this effort. The third reason is really about Pennsylvania's role in the nation. Pennsylvania is a national leader in outdoor recreation. That's something that we in the office, DCNR, the Shapiro administration are committed to advancing. And when we look across the national landscape, we see the key to that leadership being both a strong in-government and a strong private sector representation of our outdoor recreation industry. And with the results of the Elevate process and our Future Outdoor Business Alliance, we're looking forward to Pennsylvania taking its seat at the table, indeed taking a leadership role within national efforts to support the outdoor recreation industry. Throughout this process, we've had the opportunity to listen to more than 1,000 stakeholders who put their ideas, their needs, their hopes for the future on the table. We've explored the far corners of our outdoor recreation industry. And I can say that from my seat, this has been one of the most kind of open-minded and fact-led deliberative processes that I've been part of thus far. So I'm really excited about what you all told us about what our outdoor recreation industry needs, and about what I imagine will be some rapidly forthcoming plans to get to work supporting our outdoor recreation industry in Pennsylvania. So thanks for the opportunity to be part of this amazing team. I want to congratulate everybody who's been part of this process, and kick it back to you, Nicole.
Okay, great. Thanks, Nathan. Want to turn it over to Zach Lee from SAP and DC to talk about his role in this project.
Thank you, Nicole. My name is Zach Lee. I am the Director of Business Development for Southern Alleghenies Planning and Development Commission, located here in Altoona, PA. As you can see on the screen, we are a nonprofit regional economic and community development organization. We serve a 6-county region here in South Central Pennsylvania, and we were super excited to take on this project and honored to be the home for the project of this impactful statewide project. And I want to give a big thanks to the Appalachian Regional Commission and the PA Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for providing the necessary funding in order for the project to be completed. It wouldn't have happened without their support. So I also want to give a big shout out to Fourth Economy and Firefly and Nathan's team at the state for doing a fantastic job. It was a great process to work with them, and just did an awesome job. And you'll see that in the report when that's shared. And then also a big thanks to the steering committee and everyone else that provided input on this process, on this project. Your input is valuable, extremely valuable to the report and the project itself. It helped to kind of give us a roadmap throughout the whole process. So your feedback and recommendations are very important. And so talking about the project, for us, it's a little weird being a 6-county local development district, but having taken on this statewide sort of project. It's not something we typically do, but this project is really important to us. Tourism and outdoor recreation is very vital to our region. It's one of our key drivers of our regional economy. And so for us, this project is really important as it's going to help us grow and bolster our outdoor recreation industry, our tourism industry. And we're really excited to see what this project really does for us in our region, and not even just for our region, but across the Commonwealth. Again, it's a statewide project. So we're grateful to be the sponsor home for this project, and we're excited to see where it goes moving forward. So I'll turn it back to you, Nicole. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Zach. And now to Silas Chamberlain from Firefly Outdoor and Economics.
Hi, everybody, and thanks, Nicole. Silas Chamberlain. It's been great working with many of you over the course of the last 6 months or so to see this work come together. Firefly is a nonprofit consulting firm that works at the intersection of outdoor recreation and the environment and economic development. And so this is right up our wheelhouse, and it's been a pleasure to partner with Nathan and the team, and Zach and his team, and of course, Nicole and the Fourth Economy team.
Okay, great. And I think I neglected to introduce myself at the top. So everyone, I'm Nicole Muse-Kilcucky. If I haven't met you before, I'm a director here at Fourth Economy Consulting. We work in strategic planning in economic and community development all over the country. I'm based in Pittsburgh and love the outdoors, so it was a delight to support this project with the Commonwealth and with all of the partners that we worked with. We do want to give a big shout out. Zach mentioned our steering committee. This was a wonderful group of organizations and individuals that we were able to bring together. It's a great cross section of outdoor recreation entrepreneurs and small businesses, as well as large employers and larger outdoor rec businesses in the Commonwealth. We have several nonprofit supporters, as well as state and local government represented. So this group was really instrumental in helping to guide our work on this during this planning process, and we imagine many of them will continue to stay involved and help us as the organization gets launched and implemented. I should also mention that several of them provided some pretty cool swag for our statewide meetings that we had earlier this year. So as well as hosting and speaking. So thanks to all of you who are a part of that process and continue to support this effort. So just a little bit about sort of the planning process itself. As I mentioned, this was a year-long process, but really it was even longer for some folks at the Office of Outdoor Rec and some folks on the steering committee that had been talking about this and thinking about this concept even prior to the ARC project launching in July. The process itself was divided into 4 phases. The first one was really all about exploration and data collection. So we spent a lot of time with collecting input and doing analysis. This includes looking at our comparable organizations, doing interviews for some of those folks to learn about their structure and their governance and their history and their mission. Silas will talk a little bit about that effort in a moment, as well as defining the industry. The outdoor recreation industry is large and broad and impactful, which you'll see in the report when the report is released. But it also includes a wide variety of types of businesses, size of businesses, industry mixes. So we wanted to understand the breadth of the industry. And so we spent some time actually collecting and mapping the industry throughout the state. So that was a really key input of this project as well. The next phase was really about network building. So November, over the winter into the early part of this year, we spent a lot of time talking directly with folks in the industry, outdoor businesses, and also those that support them through a survey, through other outreach, doing interviews with folks, and really starting to listen and pulling people into the process to help them situate themselves within the outdoor recreation industry. The springtime was all about kind of building that wave and getting out in the community. As I said, it was really important that we were able to touch down in 10 locations throughout the state of Pennsylvania over the course of March and April. And, we had great attendance at those workshops. Hopefully many folks that are on this call today were able to participate in those. But that was really critical for us to understand and hear directly from the folks that are living this day to day, what their vision for the industry is, what the challenges are, and what they think could be done about those things through the creation of a new organization that serves the state. And then finally, putting those ideas down onto paper and making some decisions around, what an organization could do to address the needs of the industry. And we're concluding that phase right now with this webinar. So again, thank you for tuning in and hearing about the results of all of this work. So industry engagement, super critical throughout this process. Again, this was one of the major inputs of the planning process. This included talking with outdoor recreation businesses, business supporting organizations, government officials, community leaders, and strategic partners, again, about where they see strengths, where they see gaps, and what they think really could be done to help expand and enhance Pennsylvania's outdoor recreation economy and industry for the future. And so one of the first things that we did was answer the question, who is the industry? Who makes up the Pennsylvania outdoor recreation industry? And to do that, we really wanted to cast a wide net. And so when we talk about the Pennsylvania outdoor recreation industry, we often talk about the 3 Ps: producers, providers, and professionals. That's a nice shorthand. But what it really means is, this is all of the businesses within the outdoor recreation industry. Folks that are making things, selling things, supporting things within the industry. Everybody from companies manufacturing tents and gear to those that are building trails and marinas, selling frisbees, ATVs, guiding hikes and outdoor tours, providing lodging, renting equipment, and even organizing events that bring people into the outdoors and into a space where they can really celebrate the outdoors. Professionals, consultants, photographers, lawyers, financiers that work to support the industry as well. So we cast that really wide net. It's really important that this is an effort that supports the whole of the industry, not just segments of the industry. And so to really illustrate that, we did some mapping to look at what does the breadth and depth of the outdoor recreation industry look like across the state. And so this is just a screen grab, but you can see this map in more detail on the Elevate website. And as a note, this encompasses more than 9,000 businesses, individuals, and organizations. So truly a very wide-reaching and expansive industry. One of the other primary ways that we got in front of folks and were able to talk directly with them was through our survey. This was open for several months. And over the course of that time, we heard from almost 450 people. These respondents were made up of both businesses within the outdoor recreation industry, as well as those supporting organizations, nonprofits, and other private partners. And of those 450 organizations, respondents, 230 of them were businesses, almost 200 were those support organizations. And I think the biggest takeaway for us, we learned a lot through this survey, much more than you'll see here. But the biggest takeaway is that 73% of businesses and 61% of support organizations said that they were interested in engaging with a new initiative to support outdoor recreation sector businesses in the Commonwealth. So that was a nice affirmation for us and a way to hear more about what the needs are, what the opportunities are, and what the vision is for the future. One of the other things that we did simultaneous to this was research and outreach into the many of the state serving organizations that support outdoor recreation in across the U.S. We wanted to hear about their structure and their goals, as well as Pennsylvania organizations that serve parts of the outdoor rec industry in Pennsylvania. So I'm going to turn it over to Silas to talk a little bit more about that effort and what we learned.
Thanks, Nicole. And we went into this work recognizing that we didn't have a preconceived sense of what the outcome would be in terms of organizational models. And so the organization types that you're seeing here are reflective of the variety of different organization structures that this type of work can take on. Everything from your more conventional, very focused industry association to a sort of big tent approach to work that invites everyone to the table around a common cause. And each of these has different sort of legal classifications, types of boards, types of missions. And as we were choosing organizations to interview, and out-of-state organizations to speak with, we wanted to make sure we were talking to each type of organizations so that we really had a good sense of what has worked well in other communities or is working well in Pennsylvania, and also what has not worked well and what do we want to avoid in the future. Next slide, please. So just to give you an example, we spoke to a couple dozen different organizations outside of Pennsylvania that are serving in one way or another as a state's outdoor industry alliance. And just to give you a sense of the range, Maine Outdoor Brands is a highly effective organization that's really focused on bringing the industry together, building it up, providing platforms for its promotion, focusing in on specific issues like workforce development, and strengthening a relationship between the private industry and also public sector. Out in California with the California Outdoor Recreation Partnership, they're very focused on legislation and state funding and being a strong advocate for government to be investing and supporting outdoor recreation. And obviously that's in partnership with a very active legislature that's engaged on some of these issues and have achieved quite a bit. Out in Colorado, which is kind of your quintessential outdoor recreation landscape, where there's already a lot of outdoor activity going on. They are embedded within a statewide conservation organization, so not an industry-specific entity, but one that can bring together outdoor recreationists and conservationists and the industry itself. It has no paid staff, but quite a few members, and also focuses on promoting the parts of Colorado that people aren't as aware about, such as the opportunities to do business in Colorado and not just view it as a place to recreate. And then we also looked at the Connecticut Outdoor Recreation Alliance, another industry coalition that's very focused on things like collaborative marketing and education for within industry and expanding access to the state's outdoors. And these four are just representative of a variety of different types of organizations that do similar work but deliver on their missions in different ways. None of these are a perfect fit for Pennsylvania, but we can learn a lot from each of them for different approaches to the work that the OBA would take on. In Pennsylvania itself, we also spent a lot of time speaking with groups that are already doing great work and that we think will be major stakeholders in an outdoor business alliance. And that included business and economic development groups, including many of the people on this call and folks that helped us host some of our regional workshops. And also varying in size from statewide organizations to county level and more local organizations. We talked to a lot of our partners that are trying to break down issues like access to capital and deliver technical assistance to businesses like Ben Franklin Technology Partners, like the Progress Fund and its CDFI, and others that are doing really important work like PA Wilds. We also spoke to some of the trade associations that are very industry specific, but have lots of members and are very active in advocacy and education and assistance to their members, like the PRLA, like the Food Merchants Association, the Pennsylvania Ski Areas Association, which is recently rebranded to the Pennsylvania Outdoor Recreation Association, and our partners in RVing and camping and also then our outdoor recreation oriented groups, our hunters and our anglers, our parks providers and developers, creatives that are active in outdoor recreation and more. And then our very obvious partners on the tourism planning and just generally supportive of this work side of things, like our friends with the national and state heritage areas, Shippensburg University and other higher ed institutions that are engaged in this work, councils of government, and our TPAs across the state. And as Nicole shared earlier, we had a series of statewide industry workshops that included many of the partners on the previous page, but also many outdoor businesses and regional support groups. We did a marathon of 10 regional workshops across the state, and this is where you really have to give credit to the DCNR team for going to each one of those, bringing a lot of energy to each of those, and then that energy was also felt by those who attended. I think casting it back to us, there were great discussions around key challenges and opportunities. There was also a recognition that there's a lot of great existing programs and activities going on, and that this work doesn't need to reinvent the wheel. In some cases, it is lifting up work that's already happening and connecting the industry into it. We confirmed a lot of the high-level priorities that we had heard from stakeholders, and were able to get that affirmation in real time. It was great to see some of the future work of an OBA happening in those networking workshops, where we saw businesses and stakeholders, in some cases, connecting for the first time. And we came out of that several weeks of workshops feeling a lot of momentum and raised awareness and great PR coming out of it. All in all, we attracted more than 500 attendees to those 10 locations. We even had a few crazy folks that came to more than one. God bless you, that followed us across the state. And then overall, between the survey and those stakeholder workshops, we engaged more than 1,000 stakeholders in engaging them throughout this process. One of the really interesting things about doing this geographic approach was seeing the commonalities between all the sessions, but also the regional differences and sort of the regional priorities. And so we were able to capture all that, and that'll certainly inform the work of the OBA. So some of those key learnings and insights that we gained from that process obviously will inform the activities of the OBA going forward. And so just to give you a sense of what some of those common both challenges and solutions that we heard in the room or through the survey are, I'll give you, I think, 6. The first is access to capital, making sure that businesses receive the capital that they need, and knowing that right now there's a challenge in ensuring that there's adequate capital deployed across our state, particularly in our rural areas, but also within an industry that's sometimes seen as a little more risky or seasonal than what a traditional bank wants to invest in. We know that increasing access and deepening our understanding of the need for capital is going to be a really important part of the work of the Outdoor Business Alliance, even in its earliest phases. Around workforce development, many of you on the call who work in this sector know that it's difficult attracting and retaining the workforce around outdoor rec. Part of that is there's no consistent hiring source for the industry today, although there's people starting to work on that. Workforce development programming is sort of hit or miss and isn't part of most regional workforce development efforts. And because of some of the unique challenges of outdoor recreation, like seasonality, it creates challenges for employers and providing things like stable employment and benefit and insurance. That also creates a major opportunity to really focus in on workforce needs, support job matching, support some of the great best practices that are already going on somewhat informally around seasonal businesses cooperating together, and work to support that and raise it up and see more of it over time. In terms of business growth, businesses are able to utilize regional and statewide programs that support businesses, but we noted that there's very little outdoor recreation specific programming embedded in that technical assistance. And so that's an opportunity to do more matchmaking between our outdoor sector businesses and the technical assistance providers that already exist, to make sure that we're doing those warm handoffs between businesses and between providers, and to be able to provide industry level data that shows why it's so important to continue investing in the growth of this sector, which is already a very significant economic contributor to Pennsylvania. The next one is marketing, and this was something we heard throughout the survey and throughout all of our 10 meetings. There's just a need to invest in marketing, both collectively as a sector, but also to help smaller businesses engage in more marketing and more sophisticated marketing over time. And we also know that individual businesses note they struggle with digital marketing and the evolution of that work and funding that work as well. So we're looking forward to an OBA that can help support collaborative statewide storytelling, help really lift up the industry and specific products and services that are produced here in Pennsylvania, and match outdoor recreation businesses with some of the really fantastic content creators that are already active out there today. Of course, we think the Outdoor Business Alliance will be able to provide advocacy. There are existing lobbying groups today that are lobbying on behalf and advocating on behalf of outdoor recreation. Some of them are very focused on their specific industries, and we see a real opportunity with providing a clear, unified advocacy push on behalf of the outdoor industry itself holistically. And we can coordinate that unified industry voice when we're speaking at state and the regional level, and really focus around some of the policies that emerged out of our survey and these workshops. And then the final one was peer networking, which again, we got to see some of that put to practice through these workshops, but there was a clear need to provide more opportunities on a regional level and a state level for the outdoor sector and individual outdoor businesses to come together, to share ideas, and also just to build peer networks so that they feel like they're part of a community and an industry that's well connected. And so we see clear opportunities to create annual and year-round convenings, provide support on a regional level or to specific subsectors within the industry to make sure that we continue to build out the outdoor industry ecosystem of individual businesses and subsectors. And with
Great.
that, I will turn it back over to Nicole.
Thanks, Silas, for outlining all of that. What Silas just shared again is really those key priorities that stakeholders shared throughout this process about what an OBA could or should be doing to address this growing industry within the state. And, you know, we learned from our research, there's a lot of things that OBAs, statewide OBAs could do and do across the country, but we wanted to make sure that this is really grounded in the day-to-day of Pennsylvania's outdoor recreation industry and really responding to the needs and the gaps while not duplicating efforts and, you know, really capitalizing on the great work already happening across the state. So with that, our 6 priority areas are here on the screen. I'll just go over them briefly. Again, there's a lot more information and detail in the report. And if you're interested in any of these, happy to, you know, discuss with you further. But, you know, again, the 6 priorities really shook out to be business growth and development. It's critical that Pennsylvania has an entity that's supporting the growth, development, and connections among the whole of businesses in the outdoor recreation industry. You know, not just subsegments or subregions, but really representing the whole of the industry. Second is access to capital, funding, and financing, so critical for business growth and development, helping to build a more robust funding environment for outdoor rec businesses, addressing some of the challenges that Silas mentioned, and really making sure that there's ready access to financial capital for businesses to grow in the Commonwealth. Workforce, again, elevating pathways that exist to family sustaining jobs for the many people that are interested in working in the industry, but also to help the outdoor recreation businesses and employers themselves access the workforce that they need that is high skilled and available and ready to work. Advocacy, again, serving as a resource to understand and gather advocacy issues from businesses in the industry, you know, really putting those up the chain to state and local policymakers as appropriate. And then peer networking, you know, creating those forums that Silas described for building connections fostering peer learning, and really cultivating and celebrating business-to-business partnership opportunities. We heard about a lot of those that are already happening during our workshops, and we heard about a lot of dreams and ideas about future collaborations among businesses and supply chains within the state. And then finally, marketing, really emphasizing raising the visibility of the businesses within Pennsylvania's outdoor recreation overall to consumers, but especially decision makers and other businesses within the industry. Again, elevating, celebrating, and promoting the industry as a whole. Again, I think just as a transition into our next segment, this list really considers, not just what we heard from businesses and industry supporters, but also all of that robust network of existing organizations throughout the state that are already supporting outdoor rec businesses, indirectly and directly. This list represents the ability to find synergies with that work for new and also growing partnerships, making sure that efforts are coordinated and collaborative as we go forward. And as we like to say and said in the report a couple times, this industry really is stronger together. So with that, I will turn it over to one of our partners and collaborators, Tina from REI. Tina, take it away.
Thanks, Nicole. Hi, everybody. I'm Tina Mulsky, and I serve REI as the Director of Operations for REI's Northeast Distribution Center, and we are located in beautiful Bedford, Pennsylvania. For those of you not familiar, REI Co-op is a consumer cooperative that exists to inspire and equip everyone to get outside. We were founded in 1938 by 23 friends who shared a love of the outdoors. Today, nationwide, we are over 25 million members strong. But today, I'm honored to be here on behalf of the REI Co-op and express our full support for the formation of the Pennsylvania Outdoor Business Alliance. At REI, we have a mission to connect every person to the power of the outdoors and engage them in a fight to protect it. We are proud to have 4 stores and 1 distribution center in Pennsylvania with nearly 800 employees between them. We also have over 577,000 members in the state of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania truly is a state rich in natural beauty, from the Appalachian Trail to the Allegheny National Forest, from our rivers and our lakes to our state parks and game lands. The landscapes, though, are not just scenic treasures. They are economic engines. In fact, outdoor recreation in Pennsylvania, as most of you probably know, generates $18.9 billion in consumer spending and supports over 168,000 direct jobs. It also strengthens the fabric of our community. To fully realize the potential of the sector, we need unity. We need a collective voice. That's why the formation of the Pennsylvania Outdoor Business Alliance is truly so important. The REI Co-op has long been a supporter of robust outdoor business alliances. Recently, we've supported 26 state and local efforts to develop and fund these alliances across the United States, including the State Outdoor Business Alliance Network. This alliance in Pennsylvania will bring together retailers, outfitters, manufacturers, guides, and conservationists to advocate for policies that protect our natural resources, expand access to public lands, and grow our outdoor recreation autonomy. We have seen success from outdoor business alliances in other states to secure state funding, attract new businesses, and support resilience to natural disasters. In 2024, the Maine Alliance, Maine Outdoor Brands, led efforts to secure funding for the Maine Trail Program, a $30 million state bond to support the design and development of trails for recreation and active transportation. This year in Colorado, the Alliance and partners secured an additional $1 million for the Outdoor Equity Grant Program, reaching $4 million in total, which helps historically excluded communities access parks, trails, and nature, benefiting both mental and physical health. The creation of an outdoor business alliance will also strengthen our industry and drive workforce development and growth. As we saw in Vermont last year, the Vermont Outdoor Business Alliance, with support of state funding, from the Vermont Outdoor Recreation Economic Collaborative hosted a series of workforce trainings. These trainings included bicycle mechanics for retail service team members and trail building for professional development and trail construction and maintenance. This is a prime example of how outdoor business alliances support our industry and some of the opportunities ahead for the Pennsylvania Alliance. We were heartened to see this recommendation come from the Pennsylvania Office of Outdoor Recreation. In 2023, we joined industry partners and our friend Nathan Rigner, the director of the office, in supporting the expansion and necessary state funding for this office. In our experience, the state recreation offices and the business alliances play an essential role in telling the holistic story of how recreation benefits the economy and society. The sector can tend to be fragmented, but with the business alliance, we can look at our customers and how they rely on all the facets of a complete outdoor experience. It's this silo busting, unifying voice of the economic sector that can be so compelling and insightful. For REI, a strong outdoor business alliance is another tool to support the already robust outdoor recreation economy in Pennsylvania. We look forward to working alongside the Outdoor Business Alliance to pursue collective goals for strengthening the industry. This isn't just good business for us, it's our mission. We're proud to stand with all of you to protect and grow Pennsylvania's outdoor economy and to ensure that everyone, regardless of background or zip code, has a chance to experience the joy of the outdoors. So, from REI to all of you, let's build something lasting together. Thank you. Nicole, I'll turn it back to you or straight over to Mike from Purple Lizard Maps.
Amazing. Yes, let's turn it over to Mike.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Herman, founder of Purple Lizard Maps. It's an honor to be here today as a small business representative in Pennsylvania's growing outdoor rec economy. At Purple Lizard, we are what the OBA calls a producer. So we design and produce high-quality, detailed maps for outdoor rec across Pennsylvania and beyond. But our maps aren't made for just one type of user. They highlight the full range of outdoor rec opportunities. So that's hiking, biking, camping, climbing and paddling, river access, equestrian use, motorized use, state parks, state forests, national forests, and more. We really focus on public lands, and Pennsylvania has a lot of them. You'd be hard-pressed to find an outdoor rec activity that cannot be pursued in the state of Pennsylvania. We currently have 19 maps in our product line regionally, and 12 of those are Pennsylvania titles. And our roots are in PA. We've been doing this for a long time. Our first rec map was published in 1997, right here in Pennsylvania. And we understood early on how valuable these landscapes are, not just for the people who want to explore them, but for the communities and the businesses that depend on them. Our maps connect different parts of the outdoor economy. So with the OBA definitions, they help providers, the guides, the outfitters, the event organizers, to see new possibilities. And they support the professionals, the tourism groups, the planners, the conservation leaders, as tools for outreach and engagement. And they support a wide network of local, independently owned retailers, as well as larger retailers like REI stores across the Mid-Atlantic region. And you'll also find us online at purplelizard.com, where we can ship directly from our central Pennsylvania office, which means our customers and retailers often receive their orders the very next day. The way we work is unique because we spend a lot of real time in the places we map. We're out on the trails, we're exploring the back roads, we're in the communities, and we're meeting with the people. And that includes the small business owners, the land managers, tourism leaders, and conservation groups. And those relationships are what shapes our maps. And they also help build a microeconomy around each landscape that we publish. But until now, those connections have mostly been regional or very micro-regional. They've happened one map, one community, one forest at a time. But this new Outdoor Business Alliance changes all of that. So an OBA gives us a chance to come together across the regions, across the sectors, across the industries, so that we can share ideas, so we can solve some common challenges that we all face, and it'll allow us to create a lot of new partnerships. And now we know the numbers. So outdoor rec generates $19 billion a year in Pennsylvania. That's more than gas and oil. But behind those numbers are people like us. They're the creative, hardworking businesses that make all the outdoor rec possible. And until now, we haven't had a way to organize or to connect or to speak with a shared voice. So this is really our moment. The OBA gives us a way to grow this industry together. It'll support new businesses getting started. It'll help established ones like ours continue to grow. And we're just excited to be a part of it, not just for what it means for Purple Lizard, but really what it means for Pennsylvania, because that's the state where we all live, work, and play. And thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this group and watch the OBA sort of form and come along. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Mike, so much for that. I will turn it over now to Jen from Bedford County Development Association. Jen, are you there? Oh, she's on mute. One moment, guys. Bear with us.
Can you hear me now?
We sure can, yes. Perfect.
I feel like that commercial. Thank you. Sorry about that. Thanks for the opportunity, invitation to participate. And I just want to go back to something that Tina said. Tina, I love the term you used, silo busting. I love that. That's powerful. So, and I definitely feel like this team and Nathan and Office of Outdoor Recreation are definitely doing that. They are doing some silo busting. That's going to benefit us all. So, again, I'm Jen Marsh. I'm with Bedford County Development Association. We're a certified economic development organization for the county. Our mission is to improve the quality of life through economic development while preserving our natural resources. Our efforts in business recruitment and retention increase the local tax base that in turn help our county thrive. And most recently, really as an organization, an economic development organization, we've been leaning into outdoor recreation, really understanding the value that it offers for job creation, recruitment, and retention efforts. Investments in outdoor recreation infrastructure improve quality of life, which we know is a core driver for economic competitiveness. So we appreciate this team coming together and all of the insights that were shared. A little bit about Bedford County, in case you're not familiar. We are part of the Alleghenies region that Zach had mentioned, and we are home to REI Distribution Center with Tina, the organic snack company that makes Kate's Real Food Bars. We have Fat Jimmy's and Juniata Trading providing outfitting services to our enthusiasts. We have campgrounds, we have River Mountain Resort, that's glamping, and we also have our gem, the Omni Bedford Springs, that is home to multiple trails, and they understand also the value of outdoor recreation and have increased the number of outdoor recreation offerings to guests. That's been a huge success. Our organization and many of our local businesses were able to participate in the Bedford Elevate workshop. And huge applaud for the efforts of Nathan and the Office of Outdoor Recreation in bringing people together to better understand the needs, doing more of that silo busting, supporting and enhancing the outdoor recreation sector. The peer networking, the collaboration that took place in the event that at least I attended in Bedford is powerful. And I love that you all are using the information to continue to move things forward and the creation of the OBA. BCDA understands outdoor recreation is a key driver, as I had mentioned. It's huge for our rural community and our region. And we have already, just as a result of the Elevate session that we attended, we've already started responding locally to what we heard as some opportunities on how we could support our outdoor recreation business owners. We partnering with our organization and the local Chamber of Commerce. We're here, we're ready to support entrepreneurs, helping them get started, including the outdoor recreation entrepreneurs, because we believe that we really need to help support them to grow the industry. Funding opportunities are already starting to happen. There's a current partnership with ARC and JARI, who is in Cambria County and in our region, to help funding options, to help fund businesses specific to outdoor recreation. So that's huge. And that was a result of something that came out of the listening session, the stakeholder, which is happening. We have an actionable item, which is a success. Marketing. We performed a marketing study, showed that 84, no surprise to all of you, I'm sure, but 84% of those people who had visited Benford County in the past would return for our nature and for outdoor recreation opportunities. So huge opportunity there. We have a new Visitors Bureau leadership, and we're really excited to collaborate and partner to help spotlight outdoor recreation opportunities for our visitors that we know will in turn help our economic development efforts for recruitment and businesses, hopefully increasing our population as well. So all good stuff, and our workforce. We've also started providing another thing that came out of the sessions were the need for technical assistance for our entrepreneurs. So through a grant that we were recently awarded, we're starting to do that. Where we have technical assistance for marketing, financing, sales, as well as other sessions that are planned for the future that can really help bring our entrepreneurs together, including those in the outdoor recreation sector. And I guess we're excited for next steps with the OBA, how this can really further enhance outdoor recreation businesses and secure our place as a region and as the Commonwealth, as a state, as an outdoor recreation destination. So thank you all for everything. Thank you for those who participated, and we heard your voices. Thank you, Nathan and team, Fourth Economy, Firefly. We appreciate the efforts.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jen. And with that, we'll conclude. We wanted to, again, thank everybody for attending. Thank you for your time. Our contact information is here and will be shared in a follow-up for those who registered for the webinar. Please reach out with any questions or comments or ideas. Thanks to those who were active in the chat. We tried to capture and answer and address some of those questions and thoughts and comments there. But this is really a work in progress. This is not a static effort. It's not concluded when the report is released here shortly. We know that to be successful, we really have to be responsive to industry needs. So, please keep the conversation going, and we look forward to continuing to engage each and every one of you as we move forward to launch this effort. So please look forward to the release of the report. Sign up for our newsletter on the website, elevateoutdoorspa.com, to stay involved and to stay aware. You'll see news and other things there, and get excited about the launch. Again, thanks everybody for being here, and we all hope you have a great holiday weekend. Thanks everybody.